Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining and welcome back. Our guest today is my good friend Andy Schectman, CEO of Miles Franklin. Andy, welcome back, sir.
I've been long time no see, brother. Good to see you, and thanks for having me back on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, long time no see, and really, thank you for coming down to the community to talk to everyone. There's so much excitement right now happening in precious metals, in gold and silver. But first, let's start off with gold. There's new all-time highs. Is the gold really there at Fort Knox? What do you think about everything that's happening with this audit?
By the way, I got three crazy dogs and a puppy running around here, so sorry for the distractions. They're
No,
out of
it's
their
okay.
mind. It's par for the course of my house. Look, man, I think what's going on. Look, I don't know, Ivan. I don't know what all of this means, but it means something substantial. I mean, since November, the United States has become a net importer of gold instead of a net exporter. November, interesting time frame. We've imported just from London alone north of 13 million ounces of gold, and that's just London. That doesn't take into account other places like Switzerland or Singapore or other venues. We've seen the largest delivery ever in the history of the COMEX market for the February contract of just under 6 million ounces of gold, surpassing the next largest, which was during the pandemic in 2020, QE forever, by about 1.2 million ounces of gold.
Wow.
I mean, so you're talking massive deliveries. The next largest in the history of the COMEX was 4.8 million or somewhere around that number, 4.7. So this is huge. We're seeing JP Morgan deposit 4 billion worth of gold into the COMEX in February. And Blythe Master said that that's for a client. When you talk about, they don't own it for themselves. They said we only do business for clients. So what kind of client has $4 billion to put into gold and have it delivered into COMEX? We're seeing the metal coming from London, which is supposed to be a T plus one um, uh, for, environment where T is the trade day, let's say Monday, or exchange is what I'm trying to say. T is the trade day, Monday, plus one, Tuesday, Wednesday. In theory, your metal should be available. It's now T plus 6 to 8 weeks, and they say it's because of lack of manpower and of trucks.
Wow.
We've seen the lease rates spike, which is always a troubling sign as well. Now they've normalized a little bit, but they definitely spiked. We're seeing the spread between London and New York. You buy in London, sell in New York. At one point, it was $80 an ounce. It's come back a bit, but this signals massive strain in the market. And whatever we're seeing, all I can tell you, whatever we're seeing is way off the charts, Ivan. It's an anomaly in terms of anything I've ever seen in my career. And it seems to be American centric. It seems to be we're reshoring the gold. Now, what are they going to do with it? Are they going to follow Judy Shelton's lead and collar it to 50-year treasuries, redeemable in gold? She told me Trump will issue them July 4th, 2026, the 250th year anniversary, that they've discussed it at length.
Wow.
Is it something else? Is it playing that spread between London and New York, but the shipping costs alone mitigate that profit? Is it backing the naked contracts that, the massive naked contracts and the rehypothecation, or the commercial banks wising up, bringing that gold home? It's not, certainly just not the Trump tariffs, whatever it is, and I'm not sure exactly what it is. Maybe it's the Basel III regulations where you have to have physical metal instead of paper derivatives. All of these things are in play. Or is it something much bigger? Are they going to revalue gold? After all, it's held in the gold revaluation account at 42.22 an ounce. That's the value of it. And that's the name of it on every central bank balance sheet. Get that. The gold revaluation account. You can't even make it up.
Wow.
In Europe, it's at 35 bucks an ounce. But after Nixon closed the gold window in 71, he revalued it from 35 to 38 in 72 and from 38 to 42.22 in 73, where it stood forever. So on the United States balance sheet, if the gold is really there, they're going to go look. I have thoughts on that too.
There's about $15 trillion worth of physical gold in the world sitting there costing money rather than being used. It's just absolutely insane. Monetary Metals is bringing gold back into the financial world, putting gold to productive use right now. The problem with gold, of course, in physical form is that it's heavy, it's cumbersome, it's not particularly easy to ship, and it costs money to store in a protected manner. This platform Monetary Metals created is a proven concept and allows gold to be put to productive use, so that instead of sitting there costing you money, it's actually in use earning you money.
Learn how you can earn 2 to 5% in our leasing program and how accredited investors can earn up to 12% on silver paid in silver. This advertisement is not investment or financial advice. Minimum investment applies.
It's valued at 42.22. Just marking it to market would add 700-800 billion to the Treasury coffers. What if they go much further than that? And it's happened. It's not without precedent. I don't know. It's interesting that central banks hold gold in what's called the gold revaluation account. You know, that's in essence what Roosevelt did when he confiscated gold at $20.67 or whatnot for every $20 gold coin. People were like, yeah, we're getting a premium. It's fantastic. A dozen eggs are a nickel back then, 67 cents. I think it was 2067. That's a lot of money. Well, you know, then he revalued gold or devalued the dollar by 40%, putting gold at 35, just like that. And so it's happened.
Right.
And then you have the head of the Dutch National Bank and members of the Bundesbank for 2-3 years screaming, let's revalue the gold, held in the gold revaluation account to offset our liabilities on our balance sheet. And even Cynthia Lummis, the senator from Wyoming, let's revalue gold, she says. Let's revalue gold so that we have the ability to buy Bitcoin for the strategic Bitcoin account. So I don't know, man. All I can tell you is this, that whatever is going on is a wicked anomaly. It's way outside the realm of what normally is. And I don't know. I guess only time will tell, but interesting times for gold no matter what.
Yeah, no, you absolutely nailed it, Andy. And a lot of people are talking on, the past couple of weeks about, is the gold at, at Fort Knox really there? You had Elon Musk and Trump even talking about they want to do an audit at Fort Knox. What are your thoughts, Andy? Do you think the gold?
They got to do a real audit, Ivan, a real audit, because I keep saying this name and I really ought to double check it. I think it was Kuz Jansen who wrote an amazing article about it recently. Just read it a couple nights ago, and I really should have reread it. But in essence, he gave 3-4 pages worth of evidence, including Freedom of Information articles or documents that he got that call into question deeply, seriously, deeply, that the audits that were done, the entering and breaking of seals, and all of the official information that we hear is somewhat fugazi. And as far as I'm concerned, everything I've ever learned in this industry, Ivan, tells me that a serious full-time audit, I mean all audit from soup to nuts, hasn't been done since like 1953. And all I can tell you is that if we're going to at any point inject gold into the monetary system, it starts with transparency.
Yeah.
And so there would need to be a full audit. And, you see these guys, I've been saying for 4 years, they're going to put gold on the blockchain and tie the two together to a new system. Now, that was during COVID, and that had to me, there was a lot of reasons to believe that was the case, and even thinking of a central bank digital currency and
Right.
and all of the talk around that. But I still think they will. You see Elon saying, let's put all the government spending on the blockchain so that we can see it, and you could put all the gold on the blockchain. And when I asked Judy Shelton about this, I said, Judy, why haven't they audited gold? She says it's a bunch of crap. She says they cite that it's logistic issues and it's too much money. We're the United States, for God's sakes. They can go to all 3 locations, the West Point Mint, New York Fed, and Fort Knox, and then get it done the right way. Spend a few $1,000,000 and do it. That's where it starts. And I said to her, Judy, you think they'll revalue gold? And I said, after all, it's held in the revaluation account. And in a very roundabout way, in my mind, she said, yeah, it's a high probability. I'm not saying it's going to happen at all, really not. But what I am saying is that whatever's going on right now with gold is way off the charts. And at the highest level, you're seeing a rush for physical. I just want to read you one thing. I think I have it here. I'll put my glasses on so I get it right. Right now, in London, right? So to give you an idea of how crazy it is, in gold, they say they have 279 million ounces on paper, right?
Right.
But there's only 36 million ounces available, meaning that the other 240 plus million ounces belong to others, whether it be the Bank of England or ETFs or whatnot. against 380 million ounces in outstanding spot contracts. They have 380 million contracts that in theory can stand for delivery with a 36 million ounce float. They're 90% short on their ability to deliver. So could it be that we are actually witnessing something far more sinister than most people would think? I don't know. Could it be
Yeah.
that we're witnessing the Bank of England or the LBMA on the ropes? I don't know. I'm not saying that either, but how close are we when all of these nations understand they can stand for deliveries? It's not the United States. You got all of the other countries, India, the BRICS nations, China, Saudi Arabia. I mean, how do they not smell blood in the water? It's a backup of trucks and delivery and refining. And it's, I want to read you one last thing. I know that you typically do these pretty quick, but I asked AI. I said, AI, what would be signs of the LBMA running into big trouble towards a default? And AI said to me, number one, widening divergence between paper and physical gold prices indicating delivery stress. Well, there is that wide spread between London and New York. At one point, it was $80+, $82 an ounce difference. Number two, reports of delayed deliveries or contract settlements. Well, it was T+1, now it's T+8 weeks.
Right.
Unusual gold lease rate spikes reflecting increased borrowing costs for physical gold. Yep, we saw that. Check, 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 check. Major disruptions in supply chains, including mining, refining, or transportation. Well, they say there's refining backup and transportation backup. Not enough trucks in the UK, I guess. So all of them have checked. The only one we haven't seen yet, which would be the coup de grace because of the systemic nature that all these banks are connected, is banking sector instability affecting LBMA member banks or clearinghouses. And they're all tied together systemically. And,
Wow.
so yeah, man, crazy times for sure. I guess only time will tell. I can speculate a million different ways, but I do know that this is, in my mind, far greater than just a threat of Trump tariffs.
Hello, my fellow silver and gold stacker. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching the channel. Subscribe, please like the video, and also hit the notification bell. Keep stacking. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you, Andy. It seems like to me that they don't have the gold. If you have all of these, instabilities and so many uncertainties, and they're scared of an audit, and gold rushing out of all of these, all of these coffers. It seems like to me that they don't have the gold. And if they are demanding their gold, like if they do an actual audit, like you're saying, like a full audit, not just a fake, here, let's get a video through some of these vaults and show that we have gold. But if they do a real audit and then there isn't the gold that they actually say is there, what happens to all these countries who start demanding their gold and they don't have it? Like, what does that do to the silver price or the market or the gold market?
I mean, and gold and silver are correlated 90%, Ivan. I mean, throughout all of history, maybe not in perfect symmetry. As one goes, so too will the other. But over the last 3, 4 years, over 40 banks have silently repatriated their gold from both the New York Fed and the Bank of England. And let's understand, why has it been there? Well, forever, the Bank of England would give direct access to trading on the LBMA, which is a 140-year-old exchange. And the COMEX in 73, the metal would be housed typically in the New York Fed. You have Western institutions, Western rule of law, and they would have direct access to trade their metal on COMEX and the LBMA. Well, all of these countries are saying, no, we're going to have our metal back, please. Like India, who brought back over 100 metric tons they've had at the Bank of England since 1991, amongst many others. It started with the Bundesbank in 2017 making a massive announcement after 3 years of them trying to get it. Finally wrote an article in the Wall Street Journal, give us back our damn gold.
Right.
And that day we've seen a massive drive to repatriate. And it's accelerating too. I mean, even if you look at the Treasury market, gold was up 28% last year and the Treasury was up 4.5%. Now, why the hell would anyone want to own U.S. Treasuries which can have inflation risk and when the Fed can print during QE $1 trillion with a keystroke and make $1 trillion and buy bonds when the Saudis have to pump oil with energy and hard work and effort and then sell it to us for dollars in treasuries and we can just go like that, boom.
Yeah.
And instead they can buy gold. They can buy gold and which has doubled the performance of the 10-year Treasury, which has no counterparty risk, which was up 6 times higher than the Treasury last year with no counterparty risk. And so you're seeing really net since several years now. For several years, we have not seen any central banks net buy bonds. More have sold than bought. They're all buying gold. And so this
Yeah.
is a situation where I don't think we've seen anything yet. And maybe it's a realization by Trump that this is a game, as Zoltan Pozar says, he who has the gold makes the rules. He said Bretton Woods 3. We're moving into a system that's all about commodities and transparency,
Yeah.
blockchain, gold. We're moving there. So maybe Trump is ahead of the curve here and is onshoring our gold before it gets siphoned off across the globe, because we were so stupid in the West for all of these years to suppress gold and silver, playing right into the hands of the countries that are saying, thank you, we'll stand for delivery. And that's what's different than anything I've ever seen. These countries are sophisticated, motivated, coordinated, and wealthy. Give me the damn metal. I don't
Right.
want more paper. And when you get to that point where it becomes more obvious, then there's a run. What we see now is certainly intriguing and outside the norm. But when you start to see a run on these institutions, force majeure on the COMEX, God only knows what on the LBMA, I think it could get interesting, and maybe it's just tariffs. Don't know, but these are the times we live in. Very fluid, very interesting. Certainly worth keeping your eye on the ball.
Yeah, no, Andy, it's you absolutely nailed it, and it is crazy times, especially in the precious metals market. I really highly recommend everyone watching this right now. Please go connect with Andy. Please go connect with Miles Franklin. But Andy, where can people connect with you? I'll put the links in the description below, but where can they connect with you?
A lot of people don't like the fact that we don't publish our competitive prices and we only list prices up to a small amount. Info at Miles Franklin. Just request our price list or ask any questions. I'd be glad you did. That's the best way. I started my own YouTube channel
Nice.
in June. We're up to 34,000 subscribers. Not in your league yet, but trying. And after 5 years of doing thousands of videos, I do a few a week. But that's Miles Franklin YouTube channel. But info at Miles Franklin, and let us know that it came from this video, and we'll take very good care of your listeners. It's an honor to be back here, man, and I'm glad to see you're doing well, and always happy to come back on and lend my take on things. And again, just because we're talking about gold, look, many of the same things are happening with silver too, Ivan, and maybe in spades. To me, I'll just say this regarding silver, and I know that's what your listeners predominantly own and think about and research. To me, the term asymmetrical risk reward comes to mind, and that is the lowest downside and the best upside. I don't know if I've ever seen an asset that offers not only the duality or plurality, that's a word, in demand between military and green and digital and monetary,
Yeah.
set that's depleting in nature, increasing in demand, been held down in price forever, probably by the military industrial complex so they can make high-tech weapons. But whatever it is, I don't know that there's an asset that offers the upside that silver does with the mitigated downside. And we've seen, I don't know, 14, 15 million ounces of silver stand for delivery recently also, if not more. I haven't seen what happened here just recently, the recent commitment of traders, but there's a lot of silver coming in to the US as well. It's not just gold that's being imported. So as one goes, so too does the other. They have about a 90% correlation through all of history. Maybe not in perfect unison, but one won't go to the moon without the other. So I know we said gold, but I'm just as bullish and probably more bullish on potential on silver.
Yeah, no, you absolutely nailed it, Andy. Everyone watching, please go connect with Miles Franklin. Go subscribe to their YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the description below. But Andy, as the market develops, I'd absolutely love to have you back on. It's been a huge pleasure.
Likewise, Ivan. You stay well, brother. I look forward to that. And until next time, take it easy.